What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming Blank Game Week 18. So yes, Blank Game Week 18, if you guys have forgotten, Man City vs Brentford has been scratched out. But to be honest, when looking at our sides, it doesn't look like a blank game week. I myself have a full starting 11, full bench even, so you can actually use that one free transfer to make a difference for this game week. So that's exactly what I'll be showing you guys in this video after I talk about the Game Week 17 team review. So once the quick review of Game Week 17 has gone by, did we get a green arrow, was it a red arrow? I'll jump into all that Blank Game Week 18 goodness and show you guys how the current team is setting up. So that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So Game Week 17 was an absolute great one for my own team. As you guys can see, 74 points scored and a Game Week rank of 110k. So to be honest, I think this Game Week rank is one of the best of this season, just a great Game Week for ourselves and a massive green arrow to about the 163k mark. So yes, that's right, we've almost halved our rank from 300k to 163k and the overall points are 1015. Now big disclaimer here, this is obviously before the Luton and Bournemouth game gets announced. As you guys know, that game might be postponed, the points might remain, they might be taken away. So I'll update you guys what happens in the team selection coming up in a few days' time. Now in terms of the transfer plan for Game Week 18, it's one free transfer and 7.9 million left in the bank, so yes, quite a big upgrade can be made. And also want to clarify, I made two transfers for Game Week 17 that was therefore for -4, so that takes our Game Week points to 70. Now in the comments down below, how did your Game Week go? Was it a green arrow? Was it a red arrow? I think the majority of you guys should be looking quite happy. Now let's get on to where those 74 -4 points came from. I'm going to start off on the bench because the bench this week might be needed. As you guys know, I actually brought in Dom Solanke this week. So in the situation that Dom Solanke's points are taken away, he's almost assumed to have not played a game, I'll be getting Lascelles off the bench for a 6-pointer. So overall, great game there from Newcastle. As you guys know, I started Dubravka if Ariola's on the bench, so that clean sheet from Newcastle was all needed. Now jumping to the rest, Archer and Taylor got 2 points and 0 points, Taylor serving his suspension. So yes, we might actually be doubling up on the Newcastle defense if Solanke is null and voided. Now Dubravka also racked up an extra save point. I was actually hoping for another bonus point because of that, but we just have to settle for that 7-pointer. Now did we get a little bit lucky because of Raul Jimenez's red card? Yes indeed. If you guys haven't seen, Fulham in the last 2 games had back-to-back 5-0, so I was actually thinking that we're going to get a clean sheet here. But our first goalkeeper clean sheet in quite a while, I'm going to savor this moment, and let's hope that Dubravka wins the job between the sticks. Now moving on to the defensive department, I'm going to start off with one of our transfers. It was Pedro Porro in. I took out Gay from Crystal Palace, they faced Man City and conceded, whereas Pedro Porro got a massive 8-pointer. Now if you guys also saw that Spurs game, Pedro Porro was quite unlucky, an attacking return was on the cards, but I'll take the clean sheet after that red card to Basuma. So 2 bonus points as well as the clean sheet. A little bit uncharacteristic for Spurs to keep a clean sheet, but I'll take it any day of the week. So this transfer could be one of those that you guys might think was for a -4. I guess if I started Lascelles and Solanke keeps his points, this transfer could have been for a net gain over that 6-pointer from Lascelles. Now the clean sheets didn't stop there for our defenders. I've got Gabriel and Saliba both getting a clean sheet and Saliba an extra bonus point. So finally we got that Arsenal double-up clean sheet again. Now if you guys saw the record, apparently Brighton have scored in every game for a while now. Arsenal put a stop to that, which was great for my FPL team. But as you guys can see, the defense finally actually getting us some points, and I think that's why it was a great game week. In these last few game weeks, the points have come from the midfield and the forward departments, so I see that the defense is coming in clutch. So let's go on to that midfield department, and the points definitely didn't come for our captain. It's going to be Mo Salah with the massive 3-pointer double to 6 after that 0-0 draw to United. I don't really know what happened in this game. Liverpool were all over United. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. I think there was something ridiculous like 34 shots. But I guess credit to United and Luke Shaw on Mo Salah's side. He stayed relatively quiet, overall didn't have a great game, and that's reflected on the blank. But the expectations were there, but I've been saying this the whole week as a Liverpool fan. I was super worried whenever we face United, there's an expectation for us to smash them. It just seems like we always choke, and especially when Man City drop points. But I guess he did outperform Son, who was my next favorite option. He got a 2-pointer, once again affected by that red card from Basuma. So Spurs had already kind of racked up the points by the time that red card came in. Don't think they were overall too attacking, but I was expecting Son to get at least one attacking return in this fixture. But the consistent run has unfortunately ended, but at least we had him for his hauls in the previous game weeks. Now it might be a coincidence, but my third premium midfielder all starting with the letter S, it's going to be Saka. He also ended up blanking. So my more expensive midfielders didn't get us any points this week. Blanks from Son, blanks from Salah, blanks from Saka, although he did have an assist that could have been given. Now, I won't lie to you guys, I haven't seen the Arsenal goal. I can't tell you if it was a Saka assist. However, there wasn't too much complaining over on FPL Twitter, so I'm just going to assume that FPL got it right. You guys can let me know in the comments down below, was it a Saka assist, was it not? But unfortunately, another blank for the Arsenal man. Now, tell you what kind of ghost assists, we're going to be going on to Anthony Gordon. Now, he racked up an assist for his 6-pointer, and I did actually watch that game. Now, would I have given him an assist? It's a little bit of a 50-50. Yes, no one touches the ball, but was he the intended target? Just because I own him though, I'm always going to take those points. Now, I've seen a couple of people benching Anthony Gordon for his 6-pointer, but I guess if Solanke does miss out, you just get those points off the bench. Now, you guys can see a trend. The more expensive options have all blanked, the cheaper option has returned, while cheapest midfielder ended up returning the most. It's the king of Game Week 17, Cole Palmer. So who said that Cole Palmer can only get penalty points? He's got a goal in this game, an assist in this game, and 3 bonus in this game for a massive 14-pointer. So yes, the fixture was pretty easy, but that's why we had him in our team. And if he continue to be this cheap and be this good, he might be one of the most expensive plays in the game fairly shortly. Just happy I owned him, happy I bought him in a few game weeks ago. And those 14 points are massive as an almost differential. So the midfield department, as I said, got worse as it got cheaper. Let's see if it's the same for the forwards. Now my next transfer was going to be for Erling Haaland out for Dom Solanke. As you guys know what happened in that game, just happy that everyone came out of that game relatively fine. And best wishes for a quick recovery from the Luton captain. Now in that fixture, Dom Solanke racked up a goal. He was on for 3 bonus points as well, and therefore was on for a 9-pointer. And currently FPL's only given him the goal for the points. Now, a couple of situations can happen in this fixture. The game could be null and voided, it could be postponed. Solanke could get the points for both this game and the replay. We're in the dark a little bit at the moment from FPL. But as mentioned, if Solanke gets his points, I think it'll either be 9 points or no points. Then we just get Lascelles off the bench for 6 points anyways. So overall points won't change, and therefore we're just going to see what happens with Solanke at the end of the day. And I'm sure that FPL will update us accordingly. So I'm just going to skip over Solanke for now because he might, as I said, be a 9-pointer or a 0-pointer. And the team selection coming up late in the week, I'll see what happens. At least Ollie Watkins' goal will be standing for his winner 9-point appearance, so 6 points for the goal, 3 points for the bonus. And is overall super happy that he's once again outscored Darwin Núñez. Now I'm just saying that because a couple of game weeks ago, some people took him out for Darwin Núñez. And over that time, I think that he has outperformed him. So once again, Aston Villa showing how good they are from an attacking point of view, although it did take a red card for Ben Mee from Brentford for them to finally score. But that 9 points was extra sweet. He is still a little bit of a differential, but next week I think the ownership is going to be quite high. But as you guys can see, 74 points. Let's see what happens with the Dom Solanke news. Would actually prefer if he missed out because then I'll be getting that Lascelles 6 points, and I think the average sub points for him is going to be about 2 or 3. So in the comments down below, what do you guys think is going to happen with that Bournemouth vs Luton game? Do you think the FPL players will keep their points or it will be null and void? And if Solanke does get subbed, who's your first substitute? While you're at it, did you guys get a green arrow, a red arrow? How was the game week? And where are you guys sitting in the overall ranks after Game Week 17? Now before we go on to the actual transfer plan for the blank Game Week 18, I want to give you guys an insight into how the current team is looking. As mentioned, a full starting 11 and a full bench. Let's see which players I've selected. Now while I go through my team selection, just remember I've 1 free transfer and about 8 million left in the bank. So what move would you guys do? Now on our bench, I've got Areola against United. I do believe he'll return to the starting 11 fairly shortly. I just feel like he hasn't been fully fit, and that's why David Moyes hasn't picked him. Then in terms of Taylor, he has Fulham away. I expect him to bounce back against a poor Burnley side. Then Archer against Aston Villa and Saliba against Liverpool. So yes, I won't be going with that Arsenal double up for this game week. I just feel like the chance of Liverpool not scoring at home 2 weeks in a row is quite low. So with Areola on the bench, I've got Dubravka against Luton away, but I expect a massive reaction from Luton, especially with what happened against Bournemouth. So do I see a clean sheet here? Probably not, and because I doubled up on that defense with Lascelles, I'm simply just playing them because they have a better game than maybe a Saliba. So if I do make a defensive transfer, I think that Lascelles will be dropping out. I don't expect a clean sheet as I said, and that could be a net gain transfer. Then at the back, I've also got Pedro Porro against Everton as well as Gabriel against Liverpool. Pedro Porro definitely has the better game, although Everton have been attacking pretty well. Now if you guys want to know why I've started Gabriel over Saliba, it's just the fact that Gabriel offers slightly more attacking threat, but I guess Saliba might be more nailed for starts. I think though against Liverpool, both these options will be playing at centre back, and that's why I'm going for Gabriel with his increased headering threat. Now midfield department actually has some pretty good fixtures. I expect Liverpool to score against Arsenal. Could it be Mo Salah? I think it's a fine fixture on his plate. Then we have Son against Everton, a captaincy consideration. However, I've gone for someone different, but definitely one of the safer captains against Everton at home. We then have Saka with the reverse fixture that Salah has. Both these two options facing off, who's going to come out trumps? Then Gordon against Luton, great fixture on the cards, but I will be monitoring his minutes in the League Cup, as he has looked slightly tired over the past couple of game weeks. Then also Cole Palmer against Wolves, the way you guys saw what West Ham did. I expect Chelsea to do similar. And Cole Palmer is so cheap that he doesn't have to return every single game week. Now front department also looks pretty decent. We've got Solanke against Nottingham Forest, and then we also have Ollie Watkins against Sheffield United. And yes, I'll be going for Ollie Watkins as my captain. Now between Son and Watkins, I don't think there's much between it. I'll break it down in the ultimate guide though tomorrow, and my mind might actually be changed. So in the comments down below, who's your captain for the upcoming game week 18? Are you guys going for Watkins or Heung-min Son? Both of them should do quite well. Now Solanke will hopefully have this game. I don't think they'll postpone it for the Luton one. And on the cards, this looks pretty good. Now in terms of my actual starting 11, I think the only weakness here is probably defensively. Is it Gabriel? Is it Lascelles? I'll probably be looking at making a defensive transfer, as I'm pretty comfortable with the rest of my midfield and my forwards. So talking about that transfer plan, let's now go over the options I can do with one free transfer and 8 million left in the bank. I don't think this game week I'll be looking to take a hit. So the first transfer is obviously I could do no transfer. I could just roll the transfer. I only have one free transfer this week. I could make it 2 for game week 19. And overall the starting 11 looks pretty fine. I just feel like there is enough opportunity to make a transfer this week to take advantage of some future fixtures. And I think the biggest space might be the defense. Now one thing to keep in the back of your mind is also going to be when Erling Haaland returns. That's why I have so much money in the bank. I did Haaland to Solanke. I want to reverse that when he comes back. And if we see starts in the Club World Cup, that might be as soon as game week 19. So the biggest scenario that might happen is if Erling Haaland returns to the kind of team. If we see him play in the Club World Cup, I assume he'll be fine for game week 19. And therefore I want to pencil in that move anyways. So if I was to bring in someone like a Trippier or a Trent, I'd probably have to move that Haaland move to game week 20, as I'll do it for a solid downgrade when he leaves to AFCON. So yes, Trent, Trippier could be options, but I might be looking at making a smaller downgrade. But first let's look who I'll be taking out. So the two options I could take out is either Taylor or Lascelles. Both of these two options come in super cheap. I think Taylor at the current moment is 3.9, whereas Lascelles comes in about 4.1. So out of these two options, I don't really mind selling either. I think if we see Botman returning to the team, if that Fabian Schär injury isn't too bad, I might be selling Lascelles because he might lose his spot. Then in terms of Taylor, I just don't trust that Burnley defense, to be honest, and upgrading him is relatively simple. Now in terms of fixtures, Newcastle do have some better fixtures coming up, but I guess if Lascelles loses his spot, I might want to take him out anyways. So all eyes will be on that League Cup coming up this midweek. I think they play on Tuesday or Wednesday. If Botman's back in the team and Lascelles fine, then Lascelles might be on the way out. But at the current moment, what I'm going to be doing is probably Taylor out. I just think that Lascelles, if he is an option for the future, I'd rather keep him and therefore take out the Burnley defender. Now the team that I want to target is probably going to be Aston Villa. There's a few options at that price point. No, not Matty Cash. It's probably going to be Pau Torres. Now big kind of question mark over his fitness. He was subbed with an apparent injury or knock, but I think that he should be fine for the upcoming game week. Now at least we'll be getting a press conference coming up probably on Thursday about his fitness, but if he is going to be out, we could just go for Diego Carlos or Konza. The reason obviously for going for them is they have Sheffield United at home in game week 18, and that's basically a locked in clean sheet. He then becomes a rotation piece for the games against Burnley, for example, in game week 20, and could be quite useful at his price point in the future. Now this transfer looks pretty locked in just because it's a nice small upgrade, but quite a good one, and allows me to bench potentially Gabriel or Lascelles for their bad fixtures. Now in the comments down below, what transfers are you guys making for this upcoming blank game week 18? Are you guys having to take out Erling Haaland this week? Who's a replacement? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. This is basically a wrap for the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you have subscribed yet. I don't know if you guys can hear the storm in the background as I'm editing this video, but for the time being, I'm going to be signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.